The Discovery, Chapter 6, Part 2. David and Midnight sat there, enjoying each other's warmth and company until the sun rose. The only sounds filling the air were their steady breathing, the sound of David's fingers as they burrowed into Midnight's fur, and her occasional coos and happy sighs. After a while of sitting there, bathed in the sun's warmth as well as their own, Midnight slowly rose off of David's chest.
Do you want some breakfast? I'm kinda hungry.
Breakfast sounds really good right about now,
David said as his stomach grumbled in agreement. Midnight hopped off of David's lap and trotted to the door and held it open for him. David walked into the house, reveling in the ambient warmth the building had, before Midnight walked past him into the kitchen. He followed her in to find her preparing the stove.
So, what do you want for breakfast?
Midnight asked.
Pancakes sound nice, but you don't have to make them. I'd be more than happy to.
I like cooking. Besides, you're my guest. I'm happy to cook for you.
Well, thank you. Tell me, do you treat all of your alien guests this nicely?
Only the cute ones.
David fiercely blushed as he stammered for a response.
What, can I at least set the table?
David finally managed to say.
Sure.
Midnight said with a wink.
Oh, he's so cute when he's flustered.
With that, Midnight pulled the ingredients out and proceeded to make the pancakes. A delicious smell soon filled the air and the bellies of both creatures in the room grumbled in desire. Midnight glanced over her shoulder every now and again to watch David as he set the table, although she was quick to avert her gaze when he turned towards her direction. Time seemed to pass quickly, and before long, the pancakes were ready. Midnight turned the stove off and levitated a stack of steaming hot pancakes over to the booth and set them down on the table, while David brought over the syrup and set it down as well. Midnight and David took a step back to admire their handiwork, before Midnight realized that something was missing. She quickly went to the fridge and pulled out a carton of orange juice and set it on the table. Midnight filled each glass with a citrusy liquid while David divvied up the pancakes. They sat down opposite of each other and dug into the delicious fluffy pastries. While David put a moderate amount of syrup on his pancakes, Midnight completely drenched her plate in the viscous liquid.
Jeez, someone likes her syrup?
David said in awe.
What? It's good.
Midnight said through a mouthful. David simply chuckled and continued to eat his breakfast. As the duo finished their meal, conversations finally found its way onto the table.
So, what are your plans for the day?
David asked.
Well, I'm gonna have to go to work tonight, so I don't really have any plans other than to just sleep for the time being.
But we just got up.
David asked, confusion evident in his tone.
Yeah, but my job requires me to work nights. Maybe that's why I couldn't get sleep last night.
Midnight said with a sheepish smile.
Oh, that makes sense. I remember you said that you were the director of the Night Guard or something? What exactly does that mean?
I'm the director of special affairs for the Night Guard. Basically what that means is that when the Night Guard needs some special equipment or technology, I'm the one that tries to get it for them. It's my job to ask the princesses for more funds and other necessities for the Night Guard.
Wow, so you're actually really important to the princesses then, aren't you?
David asked, intrigue written all over his face.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'm just a very small part in a very large machine. Honestly, sometimes I wish I could go back to being a medic. I loved saving lives and helping injured ponies. You know, doing some actual good. Now, I don't really get to do that anymore.
What are you talking about? You saved my life not even 3 weeks ago.
That's true, but that wasn't me doing my job. That was just helping out a creature who desperately needed it. It's a good thing, too. I don't think any pony else would have been able to save you. I had to use a lot of the equipment I, acquired through my time as a medic.
Oh, I see. Tactically acquired supplies.
David said with air quotes.
I was in the military too, I get it. Still, thanks for that. I owe you my life.
Oh, stop it. You'd do the same for me if I was the alien in your world.
Midnight said with a blush. David thought for a moment, before he found the next topic that he wanted to cover with a graphite pony.
So, working in the Night Guard, you pretty much have to be nocturnal, don't you?
Yes, sometimes I have to work in the day as well.
So, why did you join the Night Guard? You're not what did Twilight call them?
Athistral?
Yeah, that. You're not nocturnal by nature, so what made you decide on the Night Guard?
Midnight was about to answer when a knock on the door tore her attention from the conversation.
Hold that thought.
Midnight walked over to the front door and opened it. She was greeted by 2 royal guards.
Oh no, not again.
Midnight pleaded in her mind. The guard on the left was the first to address her. Ma'am, Princess Luna has requested your immediate presence at the castle. We're here to escort you. Midnight's heart sank. If Princess Luna wanted to see her, then it must be for something bad.
All right.
She turned and called back to David.
David, I have to go see Princess Luna. Will you be alright here for the day?
David walked to the kitchen doorway before responding.
Yeah, I'll be okay. What's with the guards?
We're here to escort Miss Shadow to the princess's quarters, the unicorn guard on the right replied.
I'll hopefully be back later today. I'll see you then, David.
Midnight forced a smile. She had to look brave in front of David, even if she felt the opposite at the moment.
Okay, I'll see you then,
David said, concern evident in his voice. The Royal Guard's ponies led Midnight away from the house and back down the country road towards Canterlot. Midnight couldn't shake the feeling of dread in her stomach. Surely something bad was gonna happen. Something bad always happen in times like these.
Why does Luna want to see me? Did I do something wrong? I hope she doesn't fire me.
Midnight arrived at Canterlot Castle with her escort, after a short walk back into the city. The walk had only taken roughly 20 minutes, but for Midnight it felt like hours. Her mind was tormented by the thoughts of what Luna could possibly want with her. As she was escorted through the castle to the princess's private quarters, Midnight searched for something. Anything to help put her racing mind at ease. But nothing worked.
Oh, please don't banish me to the moon.
Midnight thought to herself as the trio reached the doors to Luna's room. The guard to her right knocked on the door 3 times, and a muffled
"Come in"
came through the heavy oak doors. The guards opened the door and ushered Midnight into the room, closing the doors behind her. The room that greeted her was nothing short of gorgeous. The carpet adorned a black and crimson swirling pattern, while the walls contrasted well with dark blue as a base and teal waves rolling low on the trim. There were several lamps that mimicked small black trees throughout the room, and at the center of it all was Luna's crescent moon bed. It appeared to be riding a small wave as well. Midnight's eyes traced every detail of the immaculate room before falling upon its lone occupant, standing on the balcony. Midnight trudged into the room, fear evident on her face as she approached the Night Princess. As she neared Luna, Midnight found her legs trembling. Celestia was easy to deal with, she'd always been kind and compassionate. Luna, on the other hand, had a checkered past. Her short reign as Nightmare Moon left many ponies fearful of the Dark Pony Princess. Sure, she had done much to fix her damaged reputation, but that fear was still there, albeit fleeting. Once she was within a few feet of Luna, Midnight bowed low as her body could go before speaking.
You wanted to speak with me, Your Highness?
Luna turned and smiled. It was a friendly smile that managed to alleviate some of the stress in Midnight's mind.
Please rise. This is not a formal meeting, Midnight Shadow. I simply wish to speak to you as a friend. A friend? We're friends. When did this happen?
Midnight rose and put on a brave smile before speaking again.
Of course, Princess. What did you want to discuss? I wanted to speak with you about David.
Midnight felt a pit form in her stomach upon hearing those words. If Luna wanted to talk about David, then something was going on, something bad.
Did he do something wrong, Princess? I've been with him the past day and I didn't notice anything.
Luna only chuckled at Midnight's panicked response.
Relax, Midnight. No pony is in trouble here. I simply have concerns I wish to address.
Midnight relaxed slightly as Luna continued.
As you know, it is my duty to enter the dream realm as ponies sleep to help them with their nightmares and help preserve their mental health. Yes, I've seen you in my dreams once or twice.
Midnight nodded.
Well, I'm very concerned for David's mental health. I have been since he got here. I've entered his dreams many times these past few weeks, and every single time he's been having terrible nightmares. It's always the same thing. His dead comrades confront him and blame him for their deaths. I fear that it will have dire effects on his psyche. As you have already seen, he's stronger than most ponies, and he is also an omnivore. I'm sure that you can put 2 and 2 together and figure what I'm afraid of happening.
Luna explained. Midnight's eyes fell to the floor. She thought over Luna's words for several seconds before coming to a conclusion.
You're afraid that David has PTSD or something similar after the crash. You're afraid that he'll lose his mind from the guilt, snap, and start hurting ponies as he loses his mind.
Midnight frowned.
Not just ponies, but I'm afraid for David as well. Believe it or not, I do care for him. I've had the chance to speak with him several times, and he seems like a lovely stallion. I don't want any harm to come to him, or the ponies of Equestria, but yes, I am seriously concerned about possible PTSD in David. Much like what you went through. I remember, and I think I understand, but...
Midnight hesitated for a second.
If I may, if you're so concerned about David's well-being, then why haven't you intervened in his dreams? Surely that would be the way to fix him. I don't exactly see where I fit into all of this. I have tried, Midnight Shadow. For whatever reason, I cannot seem to reach him. It's as if he can't hear or see me. I'm not sure if it has something to do with his biology or if his mind is that far gone already. But when I enter his dreams, I'm simply an observer. I can't help him.
Midnight sighed as her eyes fell to the floor. She finally got over her fears of David, only to have new fears arise.
I see. What should I do? I don't know how to help some pony get rid of their nightmares. On the contrary, I believe you are the only pony that can help David right now. He trusts you. I think you're the only pony that he would open up to about the issue. You did save his life, after all. If any pony can help him, it's you. I understand. I think... Midnight, I can't understate this. We can't risk something bad happening because of these nightmares. As such, helping David is your job now. Until his nightmares subside, and we can determine that his mental health is no longer at risk, I'm placing you on paid administrative leave. I'm not firing you, just to be clear, but you can't really help David if you're asleep when he's awake. You're going to need to work the same hours as he does.
Midnight stood there in shock. Her jaw dropped and her heart nearly stopped.
But I don't... Who will handle my job?
Midnight stammered.
I will have your position filled by the most qualified pony in the Night Guard. Again, Midnight, please do not worry. You're not being fired. You're not being replaced. You're not losing your paycheck, and you are not being punished. I am asking you as a friend to make a friend. Help David out of this hole his mind has fallen into. If you do this, you'll be saving a life. Isn't that what you loved doing while you were a medic?
Midnight sighed. She knew Luna was right. She was probably the only pony that could help David. The other princesses were far too busy to spend all of their time helping him with his nightmares, and Luna had all of Equestria to tend to, not just David. At the end of the day, she was the only one that could really help him.
Alright. I'll do whatever I can. Where do I start? I'm afraid I cannot say. I don't know what you'll have to do to help him, but a good place to start might be to just talk to him. Get to know him better. Learn about his past, and then work from there. Okay, I'll try. Thank you, Princess. No, thank you, Midnight Shadow. You are not only doing a great service for a friend in need, but you are also helping Equestria. Remember, the easiest way to help him will be to get him to help himself. It might not be a good idea to reveal your knowledge of his nightmares to him, but it might be best to get him to tell you. Afflictions of the mind can be difficult to cure, but I have the utmost confidence in you. Go now. I will monitor his dreams and inform you if I find any change in his subconscious.
With that, Midnight gave one more quick bow and left the room. With only one thought on her mind, she trotted out of the castle and headed straight home.
How in the hay am I gonna do this?
Man, that has gotta suck some kind of wiener. You just fall in love with someone and then next thing you know...
Yeah, just be careful with them.
Anyways, let's get on to our healthy donators. Top donators are 630, J Tinman, Only One Thing, Ceru, Orion, and IronSky. Darkside, Raiden, Narwhals, Black Moonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Roland, Stu Hex, Swordbrother and Mordred, Omicron Lyrae, Will, Chris, Twinkie, Ridesaw, Badass Waffle, Shadow Moon, Luigi88, and many more awesome people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.